They say wise men speak because they have something to say.
Yeah, they also say fools speak because they have to say something.
Well,
here we are.
Yeah, you bit that one.
Well.
Relax.
So, bro, 32-year-old man had surgery to remove a rare type of cancer from his abdomen.
So,
right?
at what point does at what point does a scientific theory become proven? And everything is theory until it's proven.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is something that the medical professionals don't believe that this is something to be possible. That this is not something that could be possible to happen to human being.
Yeah, so the surgeon catches the cancer from the patient in first ever case with experts shocked.
Yes.
So the surgeon went in there to help this guy.
Yeah.
Take out the cancer.
Yeah.
And somehow
caught it.
Whoa. All right, so let's dig in here a little bit.
All right. In a shocking turn of events, a surgeon operating on a cancer patient managed to contract the deadly disease in what is believed to be an unprecedented case. The doctor was performing surgery on a 32-year-old German man suffering from a rare type of cancer when he accidentally transplanted the disease into himself. Whoa. This occurred when cells from the patient's tumor seeped into a cut on the surgeon's hand. Despite immediate disinfection and bandaging, the 53-year-old medic noticed a hard lump developing at the base of his middle finger about 5 months later. A hand specialist identified the lump as a malignant tumor genetically identical to the cancer suffered by his former patient. Doctors treating him concluded that he had contracted the cancer when his patient's tumor cells seeped into the cut. Now, I have a question about this. How do doctors not wear gloves when they do surgeries?
That's the first thought I had.
Was this guy elbow deep in blood or something? Like, how did blood seep into his glove?
It got his middle finger, right? So somehow it got through the glove, and he happened to have a cut right there too.
So here's my question. How did they know that that's what happened? Did he know that at that point in time that something had got into his glove? Did he know he had a tear in his glove? Like, what is even happening here? Is the placebo effect messing this guy up? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, there's definitely more to this.
Yeah, this is a trippy situation. The situation was deemed unusual by the authors of the case report because the body typically rejects any foreign tissue during a traditional transplant, and the same would have been expected in the doctor's case. They concluded that the surgeon's body had an ineffective anti-tumor immune response based on the tumor's development and growth.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So he had the anti-tumor response wasn't correct. Like, this isn't something they check doctors for ahead of time,
right?
Before
Like their
they become
own
a
immune
surgeon.
system.
His immune system was like compromised in a way, which allowed this tissue.
It's not the work that the doctors do, in my opinion, that is the admirable part of it. In my opinion, it is the Hippocratic Oath that they take that says, hey, I'm going to go in here and treat this person no matter what, at the risk of my own life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I admire about doctors and people that work in the medical field. And to me, that's what makes it a big deal. And and some of those doctors know they have issues.
Yeah,
and they're still like, for the people.
Yeah, and doctors are just people too, right?
Yeah.
So you're a doctor. Like, when I first heard this, I thought to myself, well, what's the chances that this doctor just actually got the same disease or same tumor that the other one did? It's 5 months later. Like, who knows? Does it really have to do with this cut? And then it was like, oh, cut in his finger, and that kind of makes sense. And then where's it? What about the gloves, bro?
Like, there's a lot here, and I do know that they have high standards, medical standards in Germany for certain. So it's not like this is not a third world country where like they're bringing in water in a bowl from the river and nah. Like, this is Germany. So, like, this is definitely something that I would like to look further into. And,
yeah, it just seems weird to me, man. And it almost seems like clickbait, you know? Like, which is why we clicked on it to say this might be a good thing to talk about.
It says that he had the tumor removed and it showed no further signs of cancer afterward. So,
yeah.
I mean, they did some testing on what they removed from him, and it was specific to the type of cancer that his patient had. How they made the association of how he contracted that with that, I don't know. You know, I would like to know more about how they had come to this point, you know.
For sure. It almost reminds me of a game like you play as kids. You know, it's like it's like tag, right? Tag, you're it, or you touch somebody, you're like, you got cooties now.
Boy. You got the cooties.
Yeah.
Hey, these kids don't even look, man, they got these kids so messed up, guys. Hey, they got these kids so messed up. They got the little boys out here right now. They don't have any strong male figures to follow, like no Optimus Primes, no He-Mans, no, certain type of leaders, and it's just like they don't even know what a cootie is, brother.
They don't even know what a cootie is.
They don't even know what a cootie is, bro. Like, for real. Like, it's like if you tell one of these kids they got cooties, they might start crying on the spot.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's a thing, man. It sounds weird too.
Hey, we thought it was funny as hell. Like, cooties? I ain't got no cooties.
Nobody thought it was funny when they got it.
Right.
And everybody else looked at them, oh, they got the cooties.
I don't have the cooties. Like, hey, can't nobody tell me what a cootie is to this day.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. That's definitely for sure. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Zenergy, an exquisite energy supplement designed to nourish both body and mind. Zenergy combines the tranquil, stress-relieving benefits of kava with the focused, energizing properties of kratom extract. This refined fusion provides a smooth, sustained energy that calms the mind while sharpening your focus. Zenergy offers an unparalleled experience of clarity and poise. Go to drinkzenergy.com, drinkxnergy.com. So this next one's tough, dude. This one's tough.
Well, speaking of actually, though, the Hippocratic Oath.
We'll get there.
But
you want to switch?
Yeah, it's a tie-in.
Yeah, it kind of is. Okay, so let's go to this next story.
Yeah.
Right? Let me go to this one.
So, the doctors, apparently there's a group of doctors in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Yep.
That are calling in sick to protest the lack of medical care in Gaza.
Yeah, so they're doing the same thing.
They're
creating it.
They're intentionally
creating a lack of medical care in their hospital where they work.
Right.
In order to show their support for the lack of care.
Which is a violation of their Hippocratic Oath. Though they're taking the day off, I get it. But it's like, man, people need help, man. I have my own experience with this. I'm a firm believer in the right to protest.
Yeah, me too.
The right for peaceful protest. A lot of times things don't get done unless, people go out of their way to show people that they're serious about something that they're passionate about. Well, I have a friend of mine who I will not mention his name because I didn't ask him. But one day he was on his way to work driving. Mm-hmm. You met him, you know of this. And he had a pain in his chest. And he drove himself to his primary care physician with chest pains, right? He didn't go to the ER, right?
Yeah.
He's like a man's man. He's like a tough dude, right? Like,
yeah.
So he drove himself to his primary care physician, and they were like, "What are you doing here? Like, you need to go to the ER, brother." So they sent him to the ER. When the ER, the doctors in the ER were like, "Listen, homie, like, what you got going on in your heart right now, like, we can't help you."
In the ER?
In the ER, they were like, "You need to go to San Francisco to a specialist. We're going to put you in an ambulance and send you over there." And he went, to San Francisco, and they found that his aortic valve exploded in his heart, which is normally an instant death sentence.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, this is something that was genetic within him. His mother, if I'm not mistaken, passed from something very similar to this. And when they sewed up his aortic valve, another valve in his heart exploded. They fixed that. Took him a while to come back around. It's been over a year and a half, and thank God he's still with us. This guy's become one of the best friends that I have. Love him to death. You know him too.
Yeah. What a story.
Yeah, but the reason I tell this story is because I think of him when I think of things like this happening where these doctors are protesting, right? Like, what if that specialist that saved his life that day was one of these physicians, right? And then I was one of the people on my way to San Francisco one day. I literally just got through the toll plaza, barely onto the incline of the Bay Bridge when traffic came to a dead stop.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because they were protesting
on the bridge,
on the Bay Bridge, what was happening in Gaza.
Yeah.
So these people went up to the bridge and they blocked traffic.
With their cars, right?
With their cars, and they threw their keys off of the Bay Bridge.
Oh, jeez. So their cars are stuck there.
Yeah, and I was, me, my father, and my cousin were on our way to San Francisco to attend a court date in support of one of our family members that, can't take care of themselves, and it was a serious thing. And
sounds like you didn't make that court date.
Nah, we actually sat on the bridge for several hours. And ended up making a U-turn and driving the wrong way down the Bay Bridge. Yeah, so when these things happen, like, I would like people to be as mindful as possible about the impacts that you may have on others. Everyone is not in the same frame of mind as you, and everyone's situation is not the same as you. And when people need help, though what you're doing in your mind is seeking an improvement for a situation or a person or whatever the case, people, whatever the case is, we don't want to hurt any one person to try to make something better for ourselves.
Yeah, and it seems like what happened with that situation is they're protesting a war that's happening literally across the world, right? And they chose to do it by, in my eyes, committing a crime.
In my eyes, there's a large amount of arrogance by thinking that you doing this could possibly
change anything.
Make an impact. Just take care of your people.
Yeah. I see that too, man.
So,
and how much of an inconvenience and messed up the days for all these other people because they were choosing to do this. And how many of those people that were sitting there in traffic that had everything go awry in their day will look at this and go, oh, but it's to support the,
But I also would like to share with the people what it is that these doctors and nurses take on with the Hippocratic Oath and what it is.
Yeah.
The Hippocratic Oath is a Greek medical text that requires new doctors to swear to uphold ethical standards and promises to care for their patients. The oath has been written many times over the centuries to reflect the values of different cultures. Now, this Hippocratic Oath is a very serious thing. It's life and death serious. And for those who have taken this and for those who uphold it, I thank you, and we thank you from the Gambler and the Guardian. Thank you. Shout out to all doctors and all nurses that are out there that choose this as a career path, that choose to take care of people because it's what they think is the right thing to do. Thank you all.
Yeah, those are the nurturing, caregiving types.
Yeah, 100%.
A lot of times they're very selfless, give up themselves to support someone else.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you got to take your hat off to those people for sure.
Yes.
So you're saying that these doctors, that they left the people in their hospitals to go and protest,
Yeah.
are essentially violating the Hippocratic Oath.
Yeah, essentially they are. They can argue that they're not because they took the day off of work, but I mean, in actuality, it's kind of selfish what they did, these people specifically.
Yeah, and it kind of, the funny thing is, as we've been talking about the Hippocratic Oath, I can't help but think of hypocrite. And a hypocrite...
Hippocrates.
Yeah, so a hypocrite is someone who tells you not to do something, but then they just do it themselves.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking of hypocrite, and it's like, well, you're saying you're trying to protest not having enough health care in Gaza, and then you're kind of a hypocrite because
you're providing unhealth care over here
yes,
while you're doing this.
Is kind of crazy, right?
It is. Definitely is. It's definitely a conflict in interest at minimum.
Yeah.
Something that should be analyzed a little bit for certain.